Hi guys. I just want to say hi real quickly. Before my phone dies, and there's another basically really rough day ahead. Without it, and then when I log back on, other people seem to have had access to the live streams and stuff. Um, I hope everything is goes well. I just wanted to say hello because I know that people were really supportive and interested yesterday. Um, and in moving forward for me to like um making more YouTube videos, and it's actually kind of seeing how other people have reacted to my videos. um it's kind of interesting actually, because I started this to help myself and my dogs, to find my voice back with all the stuff that was going on, and just to kind of break the silence. But then I learned that there are um, subscribers and people who are actually hanging in there with me, and really are interested in like really grown from it. Like me reaching out has helped me to start making find different solutions than to sit alone now the rest of the day, kind of trying to problem solve with no better tools than just here. And even though it has to come from me, it's not always in here if the problem is not always in here or my tools aren't the best. So um, I have a question of like, one, how did you find my channel? And two, if you have three words to describe what is it that is interesting you that you keep coming back to watch my videos. And that because when I watched a little bit more about the professional um, approach of making videos and holding an audience um, in in interest actually, and again with my communication and my long blabbering, sometimes that's not always easy. So I do, even in person, I ask people like to give me some cues. um, but I'm kind of impressed of that people, even if it's not 4,000, but even I was even like, even if there are more than three people following me, um I was like, it would be interesting. But I I absolutely, this was an unsourced, um untapped source. Artistic background I have, I really love using the camera, and I wish I had my iPad still working so that I could actually edit a little bit better. And I'm gonna look for like apps on the phone to be able to do that. Um, and I'll set up some links to like to how to subscribe and a PayPal link. But until the time, please feel free to direct message me. I have a link um, in one of the few last comments from my videos, um, where you can reach me, because I don't actually know how to reach um, out like through like YouTube and direct messaging. So people message me, but I don't seem to be able to get in touch with them. So thank you so much for all your patience. And again, I'm doing this from bed. I'm physically really in a lot of struggling, and that impacts me. But not really. Um, because I actually like don't know the full like workings of how the YouTube vlogging and stuff works, and it's kind of hard for me like to accept, ask and accept for help. And I was like kind of flabbergasted. People in Slab City that I know actually are perfectly able to work and stuff, and um, able to survive otherwise, are able to get like some funding or and packages from YouTube, and I'm like, why? And like, because I'm normally the person who like helps Sister Margaret, my godmother, to send packages to those people who need it most, or if in worst case scenario I need something, I ask her, and she was out of the country sometimes this month, and the connection was really kind of separate for me and her, and she's very busy normally. So my phone, let me see, is about to die. Yeah, it has 2%. Um, and again, it's kind of early, so yeah, I would like to just finish with the two questions again. How did you find me, or how did you hear about my channel? And then, and this is all without me like placing myself anywhere else than one link at like Facebook, maybe, you know. Um, and it's odd, also interesting to me of like, what is it that three words of like, what is it that keeps you coming back, that interests you in uh, my journey or in my videos, um, and kind of more in a way of like what works, because I know what doesn't work. It's like being stuck on one topic for like 20 videos, or um, hey Joe, I just saved my charging for I hope it works. It's on 0% and then I just put it in charge when the phone went off again, and that's every morning. I think collector agency is like filling my voicemails. Nobody listens to voicemails anymore, but I just wanted to say hi. I was kind of um asking um my YouTube viewers or supporters, one, how they found me and how they heard about my channel, and two, to come back to like me and my journey, to see kind of like what works and what good, because I'm starting kind of really enjoy making videos, but I want to do it a little bit better, and it starts kind of who I am like talking to my audience. And I know my brand is kind of authenticity. I don't know why I keep saying kind of, as if it's really hard for me to kind of again, let go again, to take ownership of what I'm creating, even though it's new and growing in the beginning. I think it's really awesome for me to be able to communicate with you right now like this. And I said earlier, like I really would like to continue it, but I also wish I had like a year ago had thought of this or knew about it better. Because sitting alone, stuck, terrorized the rest of the day without a phone is really, really hard. And or even if it wasn't be terrorized, just to sit in the heat without shade, or the opposite in the winter without heat, it's really it does something to you. Um, so yeah, um, I hope you're doing okay, and it's kind of don't know who is in the chat room, because, like I said, I learn a lot from other people's YouTube videos. I'm like, wait, whatever cues they're giving me, they have access to who is in the chat room, I guess, or who is tuning in live with me, and again, I just am so appreciative of like that people are reaching out back to me. And even last night that I wake up and all these nightmares, and just really concerned about my dog, and um it's like really nice to see like a comment of like, hey, hang in there, I you know, you're not forgotten. And um like I said, I forced myself the whole time to try to find community in person. And as a homeless, disabled person with social challenges, it's kind of been a nightmare. Um, like Slap City is just an example. And I think it's actually an example in like of how honest and raw and mean and horrible they can be and how loving and um yeah, also with so many challenges themselves are. And um but it's kind of an extracted example of like anywhere in society. And sorry, I'm thinking for a second. um I will try to go to a library to see if I can like put some links in. um Specifically what I'd like is a community that I could like just step into, writing like a chat room, connect to my channel, so that if I don't have enough battery, um or that I actually don't have anything interesting to blab about or to share, that I can still maybe reach out in a way. Because right now I'm just sort of going to the public comments and I try to hope that people react. um and again, that's my ignorance, that's me being new to the YouTube vlogging and didn't realize that it's such a means of communication nowadays. Because one, it's been so long around, and then two, um, it always seems like other people who like make money or like are successful, like I'm thinking their name is Cornelius Van Gogh in Slap City. Um, I did watch them. I'm using the they and them pronoun because I believe that they um, prefer that. Um, and I had watched that before I arrived in Slap City 4 or 5 years ago, and it was somewhat informative, but I was very I'm continuing to be more struck of like how she can talk they can talk about anything and do anything on camera and really have a different persona in reality or in the way that I have experienced them. And um their reputation, again, I have a reputation too, no worries there. But I'm not trying to lie about it, that's the difference. Or I'm not doing any effort to like to present myself differently. And I get that's a choice. I'm just saying, if like seeing her then they're done so much on YouTube, it's really a brand almost, and instead of like the person. And I think there are different kinds of vlogging and YouTube videos. So um the recent vlogging sessions from Cornelius and Van Gogh, or corn. I call it corn cornstarch because there is no relationship between them and me. Um, Besides, that my safety is at risk. That yeah, people are really interested. I think they have like 10,000 viewers, and I'm like, um, whoa. When I arrived there, it was like the worst to meet her. And I want to warn you too, I'm pretty awful in person sometimes. But again, I'm not lying about it. I'm not pretending. I'm telling y'all in front of like, hey, this is why I'm doing the YouTube video. This is what I'm dealing with in life. And I managed to meet other people now, even online, who tap into like, hey, I'm dealing with horrible things, and um, you're doing pretty great. Or like, um, yeah, everyone is dealing with things, and it's just another way to kind of connect, I guess. But I guess there are different ways to connect. So, um, and that's really all I want to say about their about their YouTube channel. I'm just saying I'm very impressed of whatever they're presenting. That there seemingly quite a lot of people tuning in and then also sending stuff to support them. And I'm like, okay. And that actually, um, I'm wondering which YouTube video. Oh, Cardi B. Cardi B. When the government shutdown was going on, and Cardi B made it virally about her take on the government and the shutdown, and such a refreshing take on it, as in just our words, um, that politicians picked up on it and were actually going back and forth over Twitter of like that they could requote her. I hadn't realized again that she was doing this kind of blabbing a lot, and I said, "Get my empty cup," because she literally sits like this, like talking about her farts, and I think that's hilarious. I thought that was hilarious, and the fact that a history teacher, or old history teacher, pointed out to her, pointed out to the public that she wasn't doing anything special, but using her public platform to use her voice for those who are less visible and have less of an equal voice, and that's from Cardi B's her own words quoted. Um, I realized, like, hey, I enjoy doing that, and I used to be a public speaker, and I would get $500 per like presentation. And I always have wanted to share some about my life, the way that I live right now, as opposed to being stuffed in shelters and ghettos and um, projects in the ghettos. And I'm talking about not low income neighborhoods alone, but more like just violent, poor neighborhoods where the police is no longer in charge. And yeah, and I wanted to just create some space for people who are from a different background, not just um, race wise or age wise or class wise, because I'm going in a little bit in between, because I can present myself as like kind of poor um and yeah, poor basically, or uneducated maybe, but it comes quite through quickly that I have an education and that I hold that privilege, and I make sure that I always um like acknowledge that it's not, I didn't like wake up like this. I There's a lot of money and a lot of effort and hard work and teamwork in it to like have me be here to the day I'm here today. And then I think that the things that I am asking this visibility about is my skin, like just the shame that is being imposed on me every single day, that I could be using hard drugs and that this would be causing it. Um, so what? So what? If I would be shooting up right now on video because my life is really shit and I have no better coping skills apparently to like deal with it differently or whatever reason it is. And if my skin breaks out because of that, so what? However, it doesn't happen to be hard drugs, and it happens to be an autoimmune disorder. And I think it makes it harder for people to kind of sit with the helplessness when they see me struggle and actually work really hard to get back to a doctor and drive 900 miles round trip to really see doctors to make sure I get access to care. Um, Seeing people with joint disorders not just like being crippled or like, yeah, crippled basically. That you see me walk and hike and um, create a sustainable life that works for me. So living in an apartment and having to sit on chairs won't work for me. Sleeping in the bed doesn't work for me. To go to the toilet dislocates my back most of the time, and with that, I can't drive the car basically. So giving some insight of like how it means to have these kind of severe disorders like mutilants in real life and not being 80 years old, um, I hope it creates a little bit more awareness of when you run into someone who reminds you of me, of like either the pain they went through or the trauma, autistic wise. Like, I want to know more about the person, or like, you know what? I don't really feel the person, but whatever they're coming from, I'm not gonna be an asshole. And again, I can be an asshole when I see something, I say something, and I've learned in life like that it is not always better to be right. Sometimes it's much harder to be kind, and that's yeah, really something I'm still practicing, and I'm hoping to do that better with these videos, so that in person I am taken off guard when people approach me and stuff. My disabilities are just a little bit more impactful and less in my control. So let me see if I see a picture. Okay. A question. And then the other part that I wanted to kind of create visibility about, again, because I see Cardi B talk, and just my background, uh, that I'm multicultural, literally, like that. That has a big role in of like my unequal rights still today, and it's like since, so that's like 19 years later, I think. And so how privileges, personal rights, and uh, disadvantages kind of play a role, and how people can kind of de um, construct that in a different lens than just like the personal lens of like, oh, that's you're the problem, you should solve it. That there is a system of oppression, especially in America, kind of reinforced, that allows people with more power, and I'm not just saying money, but because Slap City is a great example of that, to be more ahead in life, and that no matter how hard I work, that I'm still not even in the minimum of the living standards of these pretty regular people. I'm not talking about my friends who are having houses in Oakland while they were mid 30s, and I'm talking about a range of people basically. And that's, but that, those friends notice that I have a lot of capacity, and that even with all my disabilities, with a greater support network and better opportunities, I could be fully or fuller functioning in part of a community basically. And again, if it doesn't really work out in Slap City, and I'm a hustler, not maybe I know line of like, hey, could you please help me, because I had some setbacks, and I, but in person or the people I know, I always know how to speak up for myself. And so yesterday I definitely needed to ask for help. Actually, that's still today the case. If anyone has something to save or spare that they can share with me through PayPal, please direct message me so that I can send you an email address of the person who uh, helps me get that funding right away with a lot of trouble. But again, I know that the economy is really hard, and that everyone needs their own support as the max. So anything that I ask people to share in this way, it's really kind of hard, and it's kind of an honor actually. It's not like something I take for granted, because again, I don't necessarily have met you yet, and um, you take a risk of what I present here online. That's also who I am in real life, and to be honest, I'm much worse. I'm much more complicated. But I do have a handful of people who've loved me since like 92, I think, yeah, 2000. Um, and that I don't know. It should hold some water because these people are not like related to me in any way, and they have their own family. They have people. They have kids like me. They're concerned. It's time consuming. We're time consuming. So if you already have a child like me, whether it's with learning disabilities, HDSD, or um, Asperger's, it's just often takes the whole family to like sort of get that child to the 18 years old age, and then even after that. And so um, I really appreciate the people who in person continue to support me, and I've had to grow. So if I would have a drug issue right now, like if I would say like um, so the way that I have maintained those relationships is actually continue to be accountable and to continue to like grow. So when they're setting boundaries with me, that I have to sit on it and cry and talk with other people about how I better can respond without losing them, because I had a problem in maintaining hey Marine relationships, and I just like the friends that I have, that's the main focus on of like how to maintain a relationship without um, pushing their buttons too much. Hi, how are you, Marine? Joe is here too from Texas. He's on, and some other people too. And I'm actually kind of checking in. Let me see. How much is my battery now? Oh, hang on. I need to check. Oh, it's 3%. Whoa. I'm so glad. I charged this during the night, and just when it was gonna go out, I plugged it in, looking in, because I want to find me. If you can describe in 3 words, what does it make you come back to my channel and my journey? That's a different question of like the way that I communicate and um, kind of build a relationship with, and people will support me, as opposed to what I happy all of a sudden. And again, I'm tend to be a little bit monotone, and then only when I'm like passionate that I get like. So when you see me passionate, it's really an upgrade thing. I am feeling a little bit better this morning because I can talk. I had a little rough night. I can't really sleep with my lungs. Um, but I have an appointment this Monday with a new doctor so we can start process for my lungs. And let me think. And unfortunately, we have to start over, but because there was already an X-ray taken, it can um, be we don't have to start completely over. And I do have some documentation from the autoimmune disorders from the other doctors, and again, that all helps me to get ahead. What I didn't realize as a moving person, just moving around like 4 years ago, that my medical record doesn't follow me. Even if I walk around with my diagnosis, every doctor needs to do it in her own way. Oh, no, in her own way. Sorry, I'm reading Marine's Marine's comment, and I'm like, the doctor too needs to do it in her own way. No, they have to start from the beginning so that they can document what the symptoms are at that moment. And so, are y'all talking about? Hey, are y'all communicating about me? I didn't know you can see each other. How can I not? I want to talk with y'all. I want, I want to chat on the line. Oh, thank y'all, because this is why I like went back to San Francisco and Oakland, to the communities that I was facing all the time, almost homelessness, because there were so many homeless people, and I showed my pictures, right? I showed my sceneries, and every one of them was like, "Well, not able to meet your needs." That's one thing that I want to say. That all these stupid services, not services that are not working for me and my life, and I deem them stupid and ineffective and actually damaging to me. I managed to actually be able to meet my own needs for the first time. It's harder work, but I love hard work. I love to work hard. That's why one of the reasons why I reached out to y'all. Like, hey, I'm stuck. with no thought process, like on like whiny, whiny, whiny. I don't know how to get a solution. And someone online is like, hey, take a nap for a minute, take a break. And that's all it takes, really. This lifestyle um, is very different than having to survive out of a trash can and living behind the dumpsters, for example, in Brawley, where I did that long walk and talk number 1 and 2 about my doctor's visits in the ER. That's where people live behind the dumpster. Well, they can be 15 miles up in Slab City. And again, Slab City is not amazing or perfect, but it is a place where you don't have to sit behind the dumpster and where you can meet your own needs. And I think that is very it's a privilege. It's something that the system is not really set up to do. Funding wise, and I would not be able to get my water or enough food that I eat from gluten free, because that's when I discovered that I got so sick from when I had to eat all that shelter food and I gained 125 pounds. I used to be 200 pounds in 2002. Oh, I'm breaking up. Oh, shoot. Oh, yeah. Um, I would love to see it there, montage. I'm gonna go back the next week and this in Bishop, yeah, next week too. It's gonna be too. It's heating up quickly. The only reason why I took a risk uh here next week when I sometimes am stuck without gas and I cannot get to the water. I have to pick and choose uh every 3 or 4 days. And again, that's different in Slab City for me. But I couldn't do that in the heat there. So I'd love to. I hope to be able to. You know what? It was funny too, and that's what I like so much about like the YouTube, that I have shared quite a lot of things from myself that when upon meeting me in personal life, people want to know. They want to know like where my accent is from, my 11 languages, and that pulls open such a can of worm that is far from who I am today. Like, let's say, hey, where you from? Are you Muslim? Are you terrorist? Are you, oh, I thought you were Indian. Really? That's how the conversation goes. Sorry, I don't have a lot of say so about from there on of like, hey, I'm this crazy person with little money and I survive out there and I'm doing amazing. I'm really that sick and I make lemonade from lemons or something. um it's hard to come back for me after these. I just want to show you how they are themselves. They don't need to be in any way to do more than that. They're really overly social, um to the point that I can different for me than once I've met people at YouTube. They have seen me in YouTube, because I realize now later on that someone has been writing me. I'm like, why is that person having the same name that awesome person I met the other day, the other night? And I'm like, but shouldn't that be the same person if they're also watching the other Slap City YouTube videos? So goes better because I'm able to set different boundaries, and I realize that story that I cannot concisely answer. That you have a whole book written over one answer. Like, so that really, I love that, to be honest. Bye, Marine. Great. Have a great day at work. I think, yeah, we're opening something with the season for the New Yorkers. I don't know if it's the Yankees actually, but yeah. Um, it was nice to see you in the chat room. Um, it's getting better. It's just not less painful. No, no worries. Okay. Um, capitalistic drink juice that I can't afford. Um, so, um, wait, I want to ask, montage. Sorry if I don't pronounce your name right because I haven't heard it in person as yet. Um, So you can't tune in person? I would just like check you in person on live stream. Um, Hang on, I need to give me that water real quickly. Oh yeah. Here, let's open the window a little bit. Mine is sitting in the dark. Um, it's not funny to sit in the dark, guys. Um, the dogs are still asleep. Actually, they were up early because I couldn't sleep. And again, it's just that's when she says it's enough. That's her no shake. She's like no more. Um, and I have to clean up the poop and stuff. A little bit more. Yaki, want to go wash the clothes? Hmm? Oh, look at you. You ready to swim? Oh yeah, the tail twist. Tail twist. Yeah. Let me take off. And I'm kind of out of the the pads, and to be honest, she is actually very good in pooping on them. Um, I need it for the night, to be honest. Mm. I'm putting another blanket underneath her so she can poop on that in case. I can go swim. Oh, you hungry? Are you hungry? Um, the way that she lets me know that she's thirsty is like this. Like she swallows basically a bit. Yeah, you can. Oh, it's okay. Don't hit your head, baby girl. Like hit your head. I know, because people don't know what we're doing. Okay, got it. 1 second. Ah! Egg. She gets a little too excited and then her still giving up. She loves the dog food at the moment. Um, she does not. She gets very sick from the chicken feed, to be honest. Corn and oatmeal make her very sick, and I believe actually that uh, that kind of compromised her immune system, and she then got so sick. And my yeah, please, because if I had to say it about other channels, let me think if I've a channel I'm really crazy about. I used to watch this rich kids in New York. I don't know, with these designers' parents, these artistic parents. Maybe his name was Charles or something. But it was so far off from my life, and the way that he just sort of like moves through life and encounters his own obstacles was just sort of interesting to me. Um, Let me think if I have a YouTube channel that I. Hmm. Good job. Yeah. Good job. I got you. You need some water? Yeah. Get your water. I need to actually kind of. We need to replace the blanket. Where's your bear? Where's your bear? Oh, here. That's her bear that she can push herself up on and lean her beak on her bill. Um um I'm itchy of like cleaning up the blankets right now. Um um yeah, sorry, I can't come up. You really love and could be inspiring to me. Joe sent me a channel yesterday from this guy Hayden in Puerto Rico. He really puts my meatball cooking into shame for like his vegan ginger shots. But it's really awesome to see someone like doing so much effort and be actually good at it. Like, yeah, it's um I don't know if I'm watching a vlogging daily at the moment right now, other than just to learn from it and to make sure what like, I use other platforms or other channels to really learn of like what works and what doesn't, and how they connect to their audiences and stuff. But like I said, I'm not actually every day tuning into someone else as well. Which I'd love to. Like, I'm just not like off the top of my head of like, oh yeah, yeah, Hayden is doing awesome. Like the way that he does his introductions. Hayden is this guy in could you write down the his channel name in the comments below in the chat live chat, because I think other people might also be interested in of like how someone from Hayden I don't know, it has something to do with vegan. Um but the way that he switches his topics, um and that he uses even like different ways to talk to the camera to engage the audience is very educational for me. um and you can tell that he puts a lot of time in it and that he loves it. Yeah, I don't know if Cardi B is still on Twitter, because I think she got a lot of heat after that she won um a Grammy or something, or act for the best, being the best rapper or something, and that she got a lot of heat. I hope she's back again, but I actually even didn't know about her. Um, or to watch were those videos from these ducks. Eki, the duck in Australia. I will put, yeah, the vegan vlogs. That's the guy that I watched yesterday. It's called Vegan Vlogs, and he lives now in Puerto Rico, and he does really pretty awesome videos of vloggings as kind of introducing to me and healthier lifestyle with different choices. And yeah, um, and then the ducks in, I will put it in the comments. Jakonovic or Janko in Australia, he has the duck, black duck called Eki, and then there was another duck, a mother duck, I believe, called Gaia as well. But I'm not sure. I haven't seen that survive or be there the whole time. And then I stopped watching him. I don't know why. And then on my Facebook, there were the ducks from somewhere here in America, Dusty and Other and Dusty. And my duck watches that every night when I don't downloaded that. She watches that every night when she goes to bed. Now she watches actually my videos um when I like go over actually I need to watch something. I'm like, dude, I really zoned out. Or what I know is that everyone, every single vlogger, including me, is touching their face and their hair. It's so annoying. Um, like these habits and nervous. So I'm trying not to do that anymore because it's distracting and it's a nerve issue. It's hey, I'm shy for the camera and I forget that there are people watching for me. I don't know for other people. But those are the things I'm kind of picking up on when I watch some issues. Besides, I'm trying to get an app so I can actually edit things because it's annoying to like um not to cut things out real quickly. Um, yeah. So if you have any other, and I will put the ducks and the people in the links in the public comments so you know who I'm talking about. Um, um, I think most of them, most of the people here are actually on Cornelius van Gogh's. Um, I'm blank out because I'm so traumatized by them. Um, YouTube video and then channel, and then I'm wondering just if people, because of the tags they had again, I started this kind of for myself to to talk to my dog about the same things basically because there's really no one else there, and I realized I actually had things to say that my dogs really don't care about. And it helped me to like talk myself out of like being so in my head. I'm i'm really um I zone out a lot. I think like half of the days is are gone when we hang up today, and I can't just drive, or I have no like lot of means to go around, and that we just sort of try to get through the day, and then I zone out even when I hike. Or and this has kept me more um in the world again. It was kind of something that I wasn't doing like voluntarily. I am kind of a people person. I love to be connected with people. I'm just not so good at it. And two, I'm still learning so many skills. I'm just a little slower than other people. But I've always like met many understanding people. And even from the people who hurt me, and they do hurt me, I don't know why people are so cruel. I learn a lot. I'm like, okay, maybe I don't want to be like that, or I want to change this so that I can like reach different people. Um, in the in the water. Um, so I have a guessing. Can we just be in chat rooms sometimes instead of me? Um, I love that water. I'm putting it in this today because I can't hold the bottles of water today very much. Um, I have no CBD oil or medication too much left over, and that's really helpful for my my trauma and mostly for inflammation and the pain, but mostly the inflammation. The pain is not necessarily managed. Mm. And then I had this. I have this box here. Wait, I'm hungry. Here, and in it I had this oil that's very expensive, and it now. And again, I can barely. And again, that I don't believe there's a coincidence in that. So it's tight right now. It cannot be opened. It cannot open by itself. It's empty. But that was my lifesaver. And sometimes my friends send me something. Then I have two more of these pills. These pills, I'm climbing full time again, but there is not enough money for that. Then I got this from Imoro Bay. I get that for free from this. And there is she uses me a lot of people to donate things to like see what it works or not. And this is thin ski sheets of a nice medication. So if when I share to people, it's really like most of like past a day, for example, uh, that I know that it medically really helps. And then when I kind of can afford like sharing with people, because it's a lifeline. There, it's a lifeline for me. That my bones don't break further down. And right now, I feel kicking right now. Right away, I can't really walk very clear. Fair. These I have already for a year, and they're not very edible. But they're my backup. So that's I'm not. because that's what I kind of hate, that is more life saving than any expensive medication that I've been prescribed through. And again, they just leave me paralyzed in the car, telling me that I'm crazy and that I need to give up my dogs. And it's sort of like, um, again, I want to thank y'all because when I did the walk and talk, we down for an hour to start the intake. Um, it broadened my ability to take a setback again, and it allowed me to tap in my resiliency and said, you know what, I can take this in a different way in control. Why keep hitting my head against the same wall? And so I will keep you updated about the doctor next week, because she is specialized in joints as well. But I just want to kind of meet her, like, if she can do my primary care um, as alongside of medical, and the medical doctor next week as well. So then I drive back through Slab City um, to take a nap, see my dog, and then see that doctor. And then I can request the tests that need to be covered through medical with him, and I can give him the test result from the direct practitioner, the DPC doctor, so that we don't have to charge medical extra. Um, so I'm trying to set up a system that medical cannot keep denying me care, and at the same time that I can access it for specialty care, and that I no longer have to deal with primary care unless it's my doctor in San Diego, who I won't be able to see after this visit next week, like for until October. And here it's going to get warm too warm soon. But the great part about this doctor and direct primary care is go ahead. Is that 1 second, the dog landed. Uh, I forgot what it's positive about it. Um, I hope I know. To be honest, I bring it up because I'm just meeting the new doctor. I'm sorry. That's why I actually bring it up. And when you see me start stalling with my speech, um, I'm actually kind of a little bit triggered of like I'm trying to process and I visually process. So some people or professional are asking me, are you hearing things or are you listening to voices? No, I visually process. Like I literally have a movie going through my brain to like what I want to say, and then I need to translate it into words to get it out. And then once it's like about the doctor, hi Maureen, I'm getting a little triggered. I'm scared to meet the new doctor again. I'm like, will she want to take me on? Actually, am I going to be too much for her, or um, is he gonna believe that I have these non-traditional autoimmune disorders? So that's kind of what's come up, and to the point that I wouldn't actually go see her. Yeah, I I will see her, and she's sending me some forms to fill out ahead of time, as in today or tomorrow, um, so that I can fill out my diagnosis and what I'm allergic to. Because again, it takes away the talk questions and actually these very important intake questions. I just have a lot of trouble. So I do that in a head, and yeah, because Marine is one of the. Of course, I'm not talking to there. She's in the chat room, and she points out that many doctors have helped her. And what I've noticed in Slab City, is quite a handful group of people who, in feedback, actually say in their experience the opposite. And all I'm saying is like, sorry, I don't have a choice not to see a doctor. This is partly a social problem, disorder. This my autoimmune disorder should be manageable much better if I socially, economically had not these many setbacks and this trouble with access to care. And with that, I have continued to fight, and actually tuned in online instead of in person in Slab City. Like, hey, it didn't work out with this doctor again, but guess what? I want to try to do things differently because I know that I have 80% impact or influence in the role, and that I do have some disabilities. And then I um, continue to look for a doctor that listened to me as well. So the doctor, my screen is acting up, like as in virus acting up.